Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. You are watching the Weekend Boost on KUHS The Stream. I am your host, Paul Lane, author of The Caregiver's Handbook, a self-help love story. Guys, those of you who watch the show regularly, I don't know if there's 10 of you or 20 or 100, I don't know, but I'm just glad that you all are here. Guys, we have some exciting new guests coming up at the first of the year. I'm so excited. Victor Archuleta, he's a friend of my daughter's, but he's become a friend of Dee and mine, and he's written this book. It's come out in hardcover. I found it at Barnes & Noble, The Power of Energy Healing. Man, we're going to talk in depth about this book. I am excited about Victor, excited about this new work. Victor, we can't wait to have you. Again, if you're watching, condolences. Your father was passed away, and I just wanted to send out condolences to you. Guys, I have so many cool things to talk about. I think I might have left my notebook in the car, so we're going to wing it without notes. Every time we drink water, we don't really think much about it, but water has a lot more healing energy than we think. Oh, there's my notebook. Water has a lot more energy than we think, and water can be enhanced. Now they're finding out that they can charge water. They can negatively charge water. I have a device that actually negatively charges water. I do sell it. But what negatively charged water does is it goes into your body in a good way. Because our body has a negative charge on it, when we put the water that's out of the tap, it's positively charged water, it doesn't work balanced in our body. So when you negatively charge water, it's going to work much more effectively in your body. But I talked about this book that I just purchased here not long ago. This is called The Fourth Phase of Water. But they've done studies on water where they've prayed over the water and they've blessed the water, and you wouldn't believe how many more powerful ingredients the water has, and how much more effective it is, and how much more healthy and life-giving it is. The fourth phase of water. I don't have Gerald Pollack as a guest on the show, but definitely a worthwhile read. Again, guys, find out if you can find this. Go find this book at Barnes & Noble, The Power of Energy Healing, Simple Practices to Promote Well-Being. A lot like Donna DeNome's book, The 8 Keys to Wholeness, but Victor Archuleta will be a guest on our show. If you remember, about a year and a half, 2 years back, I had Todd Fahnestock. Todd is a prolific author. He's written over 20 books. I think he's on his 22nd book right now. He has a new release coming out. It's a part of a trilogy. We're going to have him on the show. I also was at Barnes & Noble looking at books, which I just hate to do because I spend so much money. But I met a gentleman in there that was also an author, and he'll be coming on the show. We're kind of going missing each other on phone calls, so hopefully very soon I'll be able to reach him. But we have some exciting shows lined up at the first of the year, and then on we're going to have all kinds of cool stuff. I'm going back to Kalma. There's going to be another authors show, authors signing, and I always find all kinds of great gems there. Kalma, for those of you who don't know, is the Colorado Alliance for Latino Mentors and Authors. Guys, this is an organization that is so worthwhile. It's so important that we are in touch with our roots. It's important that we are able to see people who are affluent, who are educated, who are articulate, men and women who are truly the leaders and heroes that we look for every day. I always say on my show, everybody's looking for a hero, and if you can't find one, be one. Guys, there are heroes galore at these functions, and man, find a way to get there. I will be announcing that when the next meetings will come up. If you are interested at all in finding out anything about Kalma, reach out to me, laneman09@comcast.net. Also, if you'd like to purchase one of my books, I do not have a website right now. I'm going to be talking to some folks this week and trying to see if we can't do that. Get a website going up and maintenance time. I'm just not a technical guy, and so that's a little bit over my head. Guys, anyone who knows me knows that I'm always looking for new ways to make myself and others feel better. I'm a person that likes to reach out. I'm a person who likes to help people. I don't know where this came from. I just feel like my life's purpose has evolved into this point, and I want to talk about some things that can help you today. Some simple things. I mean, I don't know if you've ever even heard or known anything about tuning forks, but tuning forks are a pretty simple little tool. This is a gift my daughter bought me. It's a set of tuning forks. And it's a scale. It's a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do scale. And it has a word, solfeggio. I'm probably mispronouncing it. But the solfeggio scale is actually very, very health generating. So I could literally take out one of these, and if you see this little mallet, it's got a soft side and a hard side. Now, I have discovered that there's a reason for using this versus this. And if you look at the vibration created by a soft rubber mallet versus this vibration from a hard surface, this is a sharp tone. And what that sharp tone is, just like a knife. And when I have someone who has an illness, or when I have someone who has inflammation, or I have someone who has a tumor, by all means, I am not claiming anything to do with curing, treating, diagnosing. But I know that this gives relief. But when I do the soft one, you can't hear it on the, well, maybe you can. But this tone goes on a long time. Now, if I were to put another fork next to it and I bing this one, nothing happens with this one. But if I were to go and get another tuning fork of this same size with this same tone and I hit this one, I could literally hold this one up and this will vibrate through, this one will vibrate because of this vibration. And it resonates through the air. Now, what does that mean? This is so important to understand and so awesome to realize. Have you ever seen an opera singer? And the opera singer has a glass over there and he or she strikes a note. And when that note resonates with that glass, it explodes. And so what's happened is we have used frequency to destroy an item. Well, how does that work for you? This is the coolest thing ever. Your body is resonating at a certain frequency. All of our bodies are resonating, and that's what they call homeostasis, or the perfect frequency. And other things that are in our body don't vibrate at that frequency. And so what happens is, let's say you have parasites, which most people do. Excuse me. So you have your body vibrating at this frequency, and let's say that this tuning fork will vibrate at the frequency of the parasites in my body. I can literally, well, if I'm doing a sharp treatment, I can use this and I can literally hold this near my body and it resonates with the parasites in my body. Believe it or not, it will kill them. When that frequency matches the frequency of those parasites, it will kill them. But it goes deeper than that. Let's say that you have inflammation. There's another frequency. Now we're finding out that there are so many frequencies. In fact, I downloaded a whole bunch of them. This is so cool, guys. This is so amazing. What this is back in the 1930s, there was a man, his name was Raymond Royal Rife. And Raymond Rife discovered that every illness, every ailment, every disease is vibrating at a specific frequency. And what he did was he spent years researching and researching. And what he came up with was this list. And if you look at this, it's 12 pages. I'm just going to show you. I've talked about it on the show before. A starts with abdominal cramps, all the way to HIV, AIDS, alcoholism, allergies, amnesia, appendicitis, arteriosclerosis, arthritis due to gout. I mean, there are so many things. That's just the A's. That's just on page 1. The B's, Bacillus coli, virus intestines, backache, bacterial infections, bronchial asthma, bronchial diseases, bronchial pneumonia, brucella melanosis. I don't even know how to pronounce these things. Bruises. I'm telling you, Royal Rife discovered that there are frequencies of cancer. In fact, if you look in this little guide, there is breast cancer, basic cancer. So what this does is, if you look here, it shows you the ailment and then all of the frequencies that are used to treat that ailment or where that vibrates. And so I know that if I have a basic cancer, I can vibrate at 1050 hertz, and I can radiate that either through a tuning fork or some other method into my body, and I can kill that cancer. I can kill the cancer. No, I'm not saying I can cure cancer, but I'm saying that the vibration can irritate it to the point where it destroys itself. Amazing. You know, Albert Einstein said that the future of medicine is going to be frequency. Tesla said the same thing, and now it's coming to pass. The things that we used to use to help ourselves feel better are not the things we use anymore. Or they are, but more and more alternative treatments are coming out. Look at this, brain diseases. I'm just going to read you some of these cancers. Basic cancer, breast cancer, thyroid cancer, carcinoid cancer, cervical cancer, glioblastoma. That was what my wife had, my mom had. Ted Kennedy passed away from that. Joe Biden's son died of it. Glioblastoma, leukemia, lymphoma, melanoma, prostate, sarcoma. Man, there's new hope out there. I remember when I'd go see the doctor when my wife was dying, and every week I would do so much research, and I'd come in and I'd say, hey, I found out that they're using scorpion venom for brain tumors in India. Well, we can't do that here. Don't you have an experimental treatment? Nope, no more treatment. All we have is chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. That's the big three. My question is, why have we been using these same big three treatments for 100 years and still haven't cured cancer? Now, I'm not trying to hold the American Medical Association's feet to the fire, but I'm saying that there's some reasonable option that's got to be better than taking radiation and chemotherapy. I was with my friend Beto, who, I talk about Beto Terrazas all the time. He's my brother, man. And we went to see him a few days ago, and he is taking his chemotherapy. He's still kicking, man. He's still in there. But he got a RSV on top of his chemo, and he was so sick. When I saw him, I said, man, brother, you look like shit. You look bad. I love you, man, but you look bad. And I am so happy to say that through all of my research and studies and my connections, I also have discovered other new products that are really groundbreaking and providing hope for people with terminal illnesses. There's a product called iHercules. I heard about it months ago. I didn't give it much credit, didn't really care much for it. I wasn't looking for it. I didn't have cancer. But I found out that it really, really helps people, and it does what's called reverse aging. And I don't want to bounce around too much, but I'm just going to talk briefly on this. There's a little vial about this big, costs $100, $90. You spray 6 sprays in the morning, 6 sprays at night. You can spray more, but it's made from plant extracts. And this product literally reverses aging, not anti-aging. This product literally reverses aging. Now, more and more, we're going to start seeing products come out on the shelves every day. Maybe not on the shelves, but sold through alternative means. But we're finding out that there are products that literally make your body reverse age. That's awesome. So I gave this product to my friend Beto, and he was reluctant because I made him spray 4 sprays in his mouth, and man, he said it tasted awful. But I said, please, just trust me. Trust me. Spray this in your mouth today. Do it tonight when you go to bed. And he did. I didn't talk to Beto for 2 days. Yesterday, I called him, he didn't answer. I called him, he didn't answer. So I called Ruby, his wife, and she said, you're not going to believe it. Beto slept all night last night. Beto can't even put his socks on. He can't even put his pants on. He can't even get up to go to the bathroom. But Beto got up this morning, she said, which was yesterday, and she said he felt like he was renewed. He felt like he was brand new. He got up, got dressed, and ate breakfast. And then he went to go help a friend wire up some speakers. I can't wait to talk to Beto today, but I'm telling you, there is hope. If you are interested in finding out about any of these technologies, any of these products, I am very, very excited about them. I'll be happy to put you in touch with the person who does sell those the iHercules. And I mean, this thing's producing results. Again, they don't claim to treat, cure, or diagnose any illness or disease, but I can tell you that they are giving hope. They're making you feel better. And here's what you want. It makes you look better, feel better, or have a better sense of well-being, then it's worth looking at. Huh? Makes me feel better? I like it. It makes me look better? I need it. To give me a better sense of well-being, you know what? I'm on this earth for a short time and I want to have well-being. I want to feel good inside and out. I love the concept of alternative medicine or alternative healthcare. How about you? Guys, again, reach out to me through email, laneman09@comcast.net. Find out more about these technologies. I'm just going to go ahead and keep looking at some of these conditions. Candida, cardiac tamponade, carpal tunnel secondary, cataracts, circulation, chickenpox, cholera, circulation, cold feet and hands, cold in your head or chest, cold sores, colic, colitis. Ah, my gosh, there's so many things. Crick in the neck. Oh my gosh, that's what I need. Cuts. Well, here's the thing about this. Yeah, anybody could get all this list of frequencies, but what do you do once you get them? Well, when Albert Einstein was doing research, and he was doing research on treatments, he discovered quantum entanglement, or I don't know if he was the original discoverer, but quantum entanglement meant that if I had a petri dish here, and I had blood from a subject, and I were to do some let's say I put polygraph sensors on that blood sample, and I took that subject a mile away, and I asked him or her questions, they would register on this sample. How could that be? They're not connected. That's quantum entanglement. I could take that person to the other side of the city, and it would still register. I could take him to the other side of the country, and it would still register. Not delayed, immediate. In theory, I could take that person to the other side of the galaxy, and all of the treatments or all of the vibrations that I put into this sample will affect that person on the other side of the galaxy immediately. So there was a company who was very impressed with that, and what Albert Einstein said was, this is spooky. This is really spooky. So this company started up a company and named themselves Spooky. And I stumbled upon them. I'm doing research on frequency all the time, and I found this company, and they have a great product line. But one of the things that they have is this thing called an XM generator, and this generator can put out 54,000 frequencies, all the frequencies that we see here, and more. And any condition that you can imagine can be treated with this. I bought a machine. Here's the coolest thing about it. With their remote mode, I can literally take my DNA, I can put it on a little piece of paper, and I can put it in this little remote reader, and it will treat me anywhere in the world. Right now, I'm on day 6 of an 11-day detox. Here's the cool thing. Here's what it's doing to me. Listen to this. Program 1, it's treating toxins throughout the body. It's detoxifying. It's treating toxins in the kidneys and liver. It's treating parasites in my intestines, toxins in my intestines, lymphangitis, streptococcus pyogenes, and lymphatic detox. All as I'm sitting here. I've noticed in the last 6 days since I've been doing this treatment, changes. I've noticed changes in my waist. I've been noticing changes in my sleep patterns. I'm sleeping really good lately. I'm going to be offering this service. It's going to be about $40 for an hour or $40 for a session. If someone wants to do the 11-day cycle, it's going to be quite a bit more because it's 11 days without a device that I can't use on any other people. But I am offering hope. I'm offering a therapy that people can feel better, look better, or have a better sense of well-being, guaranteed. It's not conflicting with any medicine you're taking. It's not conflicting with your doctor's treatments. It's not conflicting with anything except your personal desire or what you want. Guys, if you're just joining us, I am Paul Lane. You are watching KUHS The Stream on Melody Drive. This segment is the Weekend Boost. and we are talking about alternative medicine. I've talked about these things before, but I'm just so fascinated with them, I just want to keep talking about them. So, we've talked about the tuning forks. Fantastic way to simply treat common ailments without medicine, without drugs, without addictive dangers. We have now amazing technologies that's been here all along. In fact, it's been here so long, I have these ancient bowls. These are not ancient, but this technology is ancient. If you listen to this, this resonates throughout your body and creates healing. I've noticed that whenever I do this with someone, they tell me they had a great night of sleep. I can take this and play it just like a violin. I can get pretty loud with it. And it resonates. And it feels good. Now, if I'm treating someone and they have some kind of a chronic illness, I use, if you look at my little stick, it's got a side with leather on it and it's got a wooden side. And I use that for that sharp sound that I'm looking for to cleanse a room. Like, let's say I'm cleansing a house, I use these to cleanse a room, to cleanse a house. I use these on individuals, and I've gotten pretty good feedback. Excuse me. I am fighting a cold, but I'm feeling fine. I don't know if that has anything to do with the device, but I have no, other than a little congestion, I have no symptoms of any kind of an illness. But if you listen to the tone that this bowl makes, even in the audience, even listening in the audience, you can hear this vibration. When my wife Dee and I meditate, I'll take these out a lot of times and I'm going to let that just resonate. I'll take this and I'll tap it with my finger. Listen to this. Can you hear that soft tone? Believe it or not, this resonates longer than if I had hit it with the stick. It's just not as sharp and loud. Tibetan singing bowls, guys, they're an amazing alternative. Amazing way to bring health and peace into your house. When I do a cleansing on my house or any other house, I take these and I start at the doorway and I work clockwise all around the house. All around every room. I go into the closets and I cleanse negative energies. I disinvite entities, spirits, anything that doesn't belong. I send it away. Well, this bowl and this vibration has a lot of energy. A lot of energy. This happens to be hand pounded by Tibetan monks. Paid a lot of money for it, but man, I love it. I use it all the time. I use it all the time. Almost once a day, I take this out and I give it a tap. I use my small bowl and I give it a tap. Amazing. Frequency. The future of medicine, the future of health is frequency. Whether it's a primitive frequency like this, or whether it's a little bit more modern frequency like this, frequency, it's all about frequency. It really is. Now, I want to talk about one other thing, and then we're going to get into some cool and fun stuff. I'm going to get this closed up and out of the way. The last thing I want to talk about before I go into doing some stories is essential oils. Essential oils are made from plants, and they are the best part of the plant, and there are literal electrical frequencies in every one of these oils. I happen to have doTERRA oils right now. I have marjoram, lemongrass, great for mosquitoes. On Guard, also good for mosquitoes, it's good for infection. Marjoram, I use that in addition when I'm using a pain cream or a pain oil. Blue tansy, I have several different oils that I use for pain. Peppermint's really a good one for pain. I have this old bottle. I had this mixed up custom. It's called Robbers. It's to imitate the product from Young Living called Thieves. There's some other ones here. Serenity. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you this. I have diffusers in my house, and what I'll do is I'll put a few drops of Serenity in there, and I will sleep like a baby. Frankincense. Every household should have frankincense, should have peppermint, and should have lavender. Those three oils you should have in every house. Why? Because they're versatile. They're extremely versatile. They can do so many things. Peppermint, I'll give you an example. Peppermint, if you take a test and you inhale peppermint before and during the test, they say that the average score increases by 17%. If you're trying to lose weight, you can actually take peppermint and inhale peppermint, and it'll diminish your appetite. I use peppermint with marjoram on pain points. I use it on my ankles, I use it on my knees, I use it on my hands, wherever I'm having pain, and it's really effective. But here's what I want to say. I can take very minute electrical readings, and I can see that each one of these frequencies has, oils has a different frequency. Frankincense has one of the highest frequencies. Well, rose has the highest frequency, but frankincense is a high frequency product. But here's what this is here's the cool thing about this. If I take this and I pray over this oil, I'm not questioning whatever faith you have. If you pray over the oil, pray over the oil. You can take a before and after reading on the electrical impulse or the electrical frequency, and it actually raises. That's why when you bless someone, or you bless a house, or you anoint someone, you pray over the oil, and it helps and has more power, more healing power, more spiritual power. If you're using oil in your church, if you're using oil spiritually, it increases the spiritual presence. I believe it opens up your third eye, and it gives you much more receptive of a spirit, so that you can really benefit and use the healing frequencies that are present in all essential oils. All essential oils are really extracted from plants. And the product I mentioned earlier, the I Hercules, it's really just plant or seed extracts. They've taken the most potent and powerful parts of the seed, and they are so powerful that they go into your skin, they go into your limbic system, and they help you feel better. Technology is coming of age. The American Medical Association and what they call allopathic medicine, it has its place. And it's very valid, and it's true, and it is what it is. But if you've had cancer for a year and a half and you're getting chemotherapy that damn near kills you every time you take it, I think it's okay to start looking for other ways to feel better. Don't you? I believe that alternative care is really the wave of the future. I want to be a part of it. I want to share what I've learned. We will be opening up a practice in the next 30 to 60 days, and we're going to be offering terahertz treatments. If you remember my terahertz frequency device, oh my gosh, there's a lot of new scientific evidence, and this device is amazing. Our bodies resonate with that frequency very, very positively. Illnesses, inflammation, people that I've talked to who have diabetes are getting unbelievable A1C readings, triglyceride readings, sugar readings. I'm really, really impressed with what I'm hearing. People that are going to the doctor, and the doctor saying, "I can't explain this, but you're really 100% better." My friend Martha is one example. She was so impressed. She uses this device every single day. Dee's uncle Emilio, he's been using his device every day, and he had unbearable vertigo, where he couldn't stand up without falling down. He couldn't turn his head sideways. I did too, by the way, before I started using the device. I couldn't turn my head and look at you like this, and especially couldn't turn my head this way. And I'll tell you right now, I feel fine. I don't feel any symptom of vertigo at all. I've been using that device. I'm using it on my ears. I use it on my throat. I use it on my forehead and my third eye. I use it on my heart. I use it on my soles of my hands, the soles of my feet, my hands. It's an amazing technology. Yes, I do sell that device. $350, but I'll tell you what, it's guaranteed. If you don't like it, 30 days, bring it back, and the company will refund your money. That's technology you can depend on. Doctors don't give you a guarantee. Doctors don't guarantee they're going to cure your cancers. Doctors don't guarantee anything. In fact, I put a blog out last night. Man, think about this. Every day there's probably 80 to 100 commercials on TV for medicines, new drugs. All of these are approved by the Federal Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. But every one of them has side effects that are horrible. Side effects that include death. Side effects that include leukemia. Side effects that include sickness, dizziness, oily discharge. I mean, there's so many things that you see in the medicine that they are approving. And yet, if I bring you a vitamin that gets rid of your cold, I could be thrown in prison for it. It's an ass-backward system. It's because we have lobbyists running the FDA, and the people who once fought the FDA are now right in the middle of it. And this is kind of a fox in the hen house sort of thing. But allopathic medicine, the medicine of general doctors, I don't believe that it's the only option that we should consider. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying that they can't heal you, because I know there's a lot of people getting great results with it. But I'm going to tell you this. Alternative medicine is here to stay. Alternative medicine is here to stay. Guys, this is my last show of the year, and I thought that I might share some fun little stories with you. And so with that, I'm going to go into phase 2 of the show, if you will, and some fun stuff. So, if you know anything about the history of Colorado and how New Mexico became New Mexico and Colorado became Colorado, you know that what is now New Mexico was once northern Mexico. And there were governors that would run all over the countryside, and that they would tax people, and they were pretty powerful. In fact, the peasants or the citizens would call them Your Excellency, because they had the power of life and death over you. Well, as luck would have it, there was a young man, and he was lazy. He was a lazy man. His name was El Grillo, the cricket. And everyone called him the cricket. And the cricket was, like I say, he was lazy. And mostly honest, but he had a little streak of orneriness in him. And one day, the cricket saw his neighbor's donkey, and it was running loose, and so he thought, I could make some money off of this. And so what the cricket did was he went and got that donkey, and he took him around the backside of a mountain and tied him to a tree. And then he moseyed on towards the neighbor's house and started chatting with him. And his neighbor said, you know, I lost my burro, and I can't find it anywhere. And the cricket looked at him and smiled, and he said, you know, I am un adivino. I can solve mysteries and find lost things. And his friend looked at him skeptically, and he says, well, what do you mean? He says, well, I think I might be able to find your donkey for you. And he said, I would be so grateful if you could do that. Well, the cricket went around the backside of that mountain, got that burro, that donkey, untied him, and brought it right back to the owner. And the owner said, he is un adivino. He can find lost things. He can solve mysteries. Well, the next day, his neighbor was friends with the governor of that province. And he said, you know, I met this man. He's a un adivino, and he can solve mysteries and find lost things. And the governor said, I don't believe that. And he says, well, prove him. And the governor said, I will. And so he sent out his men, and they grabbed the cricket, and they brought him to the governor's mansion. And the cricket looked around, and he said, Your Excellency, why am I here? And he said, I lost a ring, and it's a valuable ring. I can't find it anywhere. I will give you 3 days to find the ring, and I will put you in this room until you do. And the cricket said, I don't know how to find lost things. Your Excellency, please let me go. But the governor said, you will stay in that room. You will come out when you give me the answer I seek. Well, that cricket, he was so distressed. He sat there in that room. Oh, he was so distressed and so stressed out and bummed out and worried and afraid. And he was looking out the window, and the sun was just going down when the door opened. And in came one of the 3 cooks that worked for the governor. And the truth is that the governor had not lost the ring. The cooks had stolen it. And the first cook came in with the food for the cricket, and he said, here's your food. And the cricket looked at the man, he looked at the food, and he looked out the window. And he said, oh, de los tres, ahí va el primero. Of the 3, there goes the first. And the cook looked at him, and his face turned white as a sheet. And he closed the door, and he ran downstairs to his mates, and he said, he knows that we stole the ring. He told me, de los tres, ahí va el primero. What are we going to do? The head cook told him, don't worry about it. Just be quiet. Don't say a word. So the next day, at the end of the day, the second cook came and brought the food to the cricket in his room. And the cricket looked at the man, and he looked at his food, and he looked out the window again, and he said, oh, de los tres, ahí va el segundo. Of the 3, there goes the second. And that cook turned around and closed the door and ran downstairs, and he said, he knows, he's going to turn us in. The governor's going to execute us. We're going to have our heads taken off. We must do something. And so the third cook said, don't worry about it. We'll take care of everything. I will take care of everything. Well, the next morning, the third cook went into his room, and he said, Mr. Cricket, we know you are un adivino. We know that you know that we stole that ring. Please help us. And the cricket thought about it, and he said, here's what I want you to do. Go out to the yard and find the fattest goose in the yard. And I want you to put that ring in front of that goose, and you make sure that that goose swallows that ring. And they said, okay. Well, the end of the day came, and the governor called for the cricket, and the cricket went downstairs with that sly smile he always had when he had it up on somebody. And he said, okay, adivino, where is my ring? And the cricket smiled, and he said, Your Excellency, last night I had a dream that your ring was in the belly of the fattest goose in your yard. And he scoffed, and he sent out his men, and they went out there, and they cut the goose's neck off, and they opened it up, and there was the ring. And the governor said, he is un adivino. He can solve mysteries and find lost things. It's amazing. The governor had the goose cooked, and he gave it to the cricket, and he said, you are free to go. And the cricket took his goose, and all the way home he said, oh, I will never lie again. I will never lie again. Wow. As luck would have it, the governor of that province knew the governor of Texas. And they happened to be talking when the governor of New Mexico said, I know a man who is un adivino. The Texan said, adivino? I don't believe in no divinos. What does he do? He said, he can find lost things and he can solve mysteries. And he said, I will bet you $500 he cannot solve my mystery. And so they made the bet. The governor of Texas sent his men to go get the cricket. And the cricket came. And he put him in a room just like the first governor. Well, that governor thought, I have to find a way to fool him. And he said, what can I do? And he went out in the field, and he found a real cricket. He found that little cricket, and he said, he put him in a little box. Then he said, that's not good enough. And he put that box in another box. Then he said, I'm really going to fool him. And he put that box into a bigger box. And the next morning, all of the town was gathered. And they brought the cricket out. And the governor said, okay, adivino, what is inside the box? And he said, Your Excellency, I am not un adivino. I cannot solve lost things. I don't know how to tell you, but I don't know what's in the box. And he said, I will give you 3 seconds to tell me what's in the box. And he looked at the governor of Texas, and he looked at the governor of New Mexico, and he looked at all of the people laughing, ready to go see someone executed. And he said, in the box, in the box, in the box. And the governor of Texas says, how did he know there's a box inside of the box, inside of the box? And he put his hand on his head. He said, oh, poor little cricket, they really got you this time. And everybody looked and they gasped, oh, he is un adivino. He does know how to solve mysteries and find lost things. And they were amazed. And the cricket's eyes were full of tears. And the governor of Texas says, as your reward, I will give you half of the $500. Oh my gosh, he was so worried. And as he walked, he looked at the ground and he said, oh, I will never lie again. I will never lie again. I will never lie again. Well, as things go, all of the people from his village were laughing. And they said, oh, he thinks he's un adivino. And they got a bunch of caca from the cows. They got all kinds of bull caca, and they put it in a big bag, and they sewed it up. And they came and met him as he rode into the town, and they said, adivino, what's in the bag? And he said, it's nothing but a bunch of bullshit. Leave me alone. So my friends, be wary about telling lies, because soon they catch up with you. The truth is always, always better. Another story that I want to tell you is one of my favorites. I love the story of Padre Chiquito. So, that same governor happened to be in New Mexico one day, and he saw this church. And this church had a priest, and he was a tiny little bald-headed guy. And everybody loved this priest. They called him Padre Chiquito because he was so tiny. And whenever Padre Chiquito preached, the people would get jewelry and gold and their coins in their pockets, and they would always give him all kinds of offerings. Well, the governor saw that. He was not happy. And he thought to himself, I need to get rid of this priest because they're paying him more money than they are me in taxes. And so he went to the priest after the service. He says, Padre, I got bad news for you. You're going to have to leave this parish and go to another place. And he said, but Your Excellency, the people love me, and I have a connection, and I've been here many years. Please give me the opportunity to stay. I will do anything. And the governor thought about it. And he said, okay, I will give you a chance to stay, but you must answer 3 questions tomorrow. And he said, well, can you tell me the questions? And he said, oh, see, I'll tell you the questions. The first question, how many times does a dog turn around before he lays down? The second question, how deep is the ocean? And the third question, Padre, what am I thinking? And he walked out the door. And the Padre sat in the front pew of the church, and he hung his head, and he was so sad. Well, the caregiver of that church was a little short guy, and he was bald just like Padre Chiquito. And everyone called him Peloncito, little baldy guy. But Peloncito was very wise, and he was very, very good at solving mysteries. He might have been un adivino, who knows? But he asked the priest, Padre, what's bothering you? He said, oh, I don't know. I have to go to the governor's mansion tomorrow, and I have to answer 3 questions, and if I don't answer him, he's going to send me away. And the Chiquito said, Padre, what are the 3 questions? Tell me. And he told him, the first question, how many times does a dog turn around before he lays down? The second question, how deep is the ocean? And the third question, what am I thinking? I cannot answer these. And Chiquito says, "Oh, don't worry about a thing, Padre. Let me go in your place and I will solve everything." Well, the next morning, Chiquito came into the church. Oh, I'm sorry, Peloncito came into the church. And he said, "Padre, I need to borrow your robe and hood." And so the Padre gave him his robe. And Peloncito put them on and he covered his face up so there was only a little bit showing. And he went to the governor's mansion. And the governor was laughing because he had him dead to rights. And he said, "Okay, Padre Chiquito, what is my first answer? How many times does a dog turn around before he lays down?" And he said, "Oh, that is easy, Your Excellency. A dog turns around as many times as he wants to." The governor said, "He's right. That's how many times a dog will turn around before he sits down." Okay, what my second question is how deep is the ocean? And the little man said, "This one's even easier, Your Excellency. The ocean is a stone's throw." And the governor said, "He's right, because a rock will go to the bottom of the ocean and no more, so that's how deep the ocean is." He was amazed. And he said, "Okay, my third question, you better get this one right, Padre. What am I thinking?" And Peloncito smiled and he said, "That's the easiest one of all, Your Excellency. You are thinking," and he pulled his hood back, "I'm Padre Chiquito!" Everybody in the room laughed. And the governor had no choice but to give Padre Chiquito his parish for the days of his life. And they say that Padre Chiquito preached his last sermon in that very church. Just a little fun story. Guys, I want to tell you another one. This story I got from Eckhart Tolle in his book, A New Earth. This is a great story because so many times in our life, things happen to us and we hang on to them and we don't let them go, and we punish ourselves over and over again. I spilled the milk this morning, spilled my glass of milk this morning on the table, and I go to work and I remember that spilled milk, and I wasted that milk, and I got my clothes wet and I had to change. It was so terrible. And that trauma, every time you think about it, comes back and it haunts you. Well, there was once two monks, Chinese monks or Japanese monks, and they were walking down a muddy road, and it was terrible, so muddy because it had been raining, and they came upon a young woman standing on the other side of the road, and she had the most beautiful new silk kimono. Without saying a word, one of the monks walked across the dirt road and picked the woman up, and he carried her across and he set her down on the other side. And they went on. They walked and walked. And 10 miles later, his companion turned to him and he said, "I can't believe you picked up that woman. You know that is against our order. We cannot do anything like that. You have broken all the rules. Why did you do that?" And his friend looked at him and he smiled and he said, "I put her down 10 miles ago. Why are you still carrying her?" Guys, the problems, the ills, the challenges of today are there, but they don't need to consume you. Let's say that you missed a house payment or you missed a car payment. Let's say that you made a mistake, you dropped the ball, you forgot. Beat yourself up and then move on. Don't get up and beat yourself up tomorrow and then the next day and then that afternoon and then that night again. Then when you go to sleep, you trouble your spirit because of something that happened a month ago. You have this day to be joyful. There's no need for you to burden yourself with all of the pains of yesterday. There's no need to burden yourself with all the times you got mad at Bob and Joe and Cindy and Alice. They're all gone. All that's behind you. You have only this moment, and I tell you, make it a happy one. Make it a joyful one. Life has a lot of little things that we learn as we go. But my purpose in life is to help you to see the bright side of it. My purpose in life is to help people who are sick, who are hurting, who are troubled, who are scared, who are angry. My job, my purpose in life is really to reach out and be of service to them. Every week I talk about being a hero. If you can't find one, be one. Guys, the world is full of heroes. Sometimes they're harder to find than others. But you know what the best hero that you can find is? He's the one that you look at in the mirror. She's the one you look at in the mirror. You might not believe it, but there are probably a lot of people who look to you and say, man, she's the best person. She's such an encouragement. She's such a wonderful friend. He's really been a part of my life in a positive way. Guys, who's in control of that? You. We're going to have a very big day today. Mr. International Paul Chavez is coming up very soon. He's going to be putting on some awesome tunes for you. This afternoon, you listen to Henry Archuleta play. KUHS is an awesome, awesome place to spend your day. Tomorrow, we have Canciones de Domingo. We're going to have a lot of uninterrupted time. I believe we have Rhonda this afternoon. We have some really good formatting on this show, on this radio station. And best of all, we have the best hero of all, Henry Archuleta, who is not only my friend and mentor, but he's just someone that I really, really admire. He's an unsung hero that never stands up to take credit for everything he does, and yet this community is a better place because of you, Henry, and I'm grateful to have you. Life is full of surprises. Life is full of excitement and disappointments. And you know what? You were meant to make the most out of every minute. I mentioned earlier that I'm going to be offering sessions. My sessions are going to start at $40 for a half an hour. I'm going to be more in depth as time goes on, as I get more adept with my device and with all of my devices. I will be offering crystal healing sessions, essential oil sessions, minor, some touch massage. I'm going to be doing terahertz frequency sessions, audio frequency sessions, sound bath healing, and I'm also going to be offering audio frequencies from the Spooky 2 machine. And I don't know what your ailment is. I don't know what your need is, but I'm telling you, reach out to me at laneman09@comcast.net. Let me know how I can be of service to you and your needs. Also, I offer life coaching services. I am a certified life coach, and I do love helping people in that way. I have a few minutes, so I'm going to tell you a quick story. It's a biblical story, and Jesus told this story. And I'm paraphrasing, so I might miss a thing or two, but really here's the story. Jesus had this man, a rich man, had 3 servants. And he went to the first servant, and he gave him 3 pieces of gold. And he said, I'm going on a journey. I'm going to leave this gold with you, and I want you to watch it, protect it. And when I come back, I'm going to want my money. And he left. The next man, he gave him 2 pieces of gold. They called them talents. And he said, I'm going to leave these 2 talents with you. I'm going to go on a journey, and when I come back, I want my money, and I expect you to work with it. And he went to the third one. The third one was not a real high, smart guy or productive, but he gave him 1 piece of gold, and he said, I'm going to come back. I want my gold. I want you to protect it and watch over it. And he went on his way. Well, months later, when that rich man came back and he came to his first servant, his servant said, Master, I know that you are a cruel taskmaster. So I took that gold and I invested it and I doubled your money. And you've heard this term, he said, well done, thou good and faithful servant. And he went to the second one and he said, Your Excellency, I know that you are a cruel taskmaster. I have taken your money and I have invested it and I have given you 1.5 times your money back. And the third one, oh, and he said, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Well, the third one went, he came to the third guy and he said, well, where's my gold? And he said, oh, Your Excellency, I know that you are a cruel taskmaster. So I took your gold and I buried it in the sand. And I have it here and it's right here. And he said, you lazy, slothful man. I gave you this talent and you did nothing with it. So here's what I want to tell you. You got talents buried in you and you're not using them. You got gifts that you're not sharing. And you're robbing yourself and you're robbing the world. You have a responsibility to take all of your talents, all of your gifts and all of your abilities and reach out and touch someone's life with them and make someone's life better. Because if you don't, you're never going to hear the words, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Stand up. Be the hero that you're looking for. Stop searching. It's the one that looks at you in the mirror. It's also the one that says you can't do it. It's also the one that says you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not good looking enough, you're not this, you're not that. But it's a liar. You have all of the gifts, all of the abilities. All you need to do is awaken the desire and go out and start touching people's lives. Guys, I'm so honored to be the host of this show. I am looking forward to 2023 being a very productive, successful year. We're going to have some awesome guests on here, and I promise you we're going to keep you learning, educated, finding out new things about life, finding out new things about yourself. Our show is the author show. I always try to encourage people to be an author. Sometimes it's hard to live by that, but I've made the decision that I've been blogging every day. I made a blog this morning. Actually, I did it last night, and I timed it so it would be released this morning. But you know what I'm doing? I'm preaching. I'm doing what I preach. I'm following the example that I'm asking you to set for your loved ones, for your children, for your workmates, for your neighbors, for your spouse, for your parents. You're a hero. You just don't know it yet. Some of you who are thinking about writing books, every week you tune in and every week you stand there at your tablet and you go blank. But you know what you got to do? Start. A book starts with page 1. Maybe you don't have page 1. Start off with page 53. It doesn't matter. You have talents. You have gifts. You have abilities. And you have people waiting for you to shine. Guys, you've been watching The Weekend Boost. I'm your host, Paul Lane. This is KUHS, The Stream, Denver. Stay tuned for Mr. International, my friend Paul Chavez. He will give you some awesome, awesome tunes. I will see you next year. Have a happy Christmas. Happy holidays. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Amazing. Oh my God, what do you got there? Ringing bell and everything?
Oh, bro, this is some badass stuff. These are 100. Well, this bowl's not.
I heard you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I heard you. I got a client coming in. Yes.
All right.
I'm not trying to push you.
No, I understand. I totally understand. That last couple minutes went real fast.
Oh yeah. Hey, something's weird here.
Something changed.
Yeah, something's weird here. I gotta talk to Henry. Henry! What do I